All right, what I want to show you, don't key any of this in, but I want to show you when we get done what this program, when we run it, is going to look like. All right? So let me run it. The program itself is going to create an array of 25 random numbers. All right? So that's what we'll get. Then we'll show the array in its original order. Then we will show the array in ascending order. Then we will show it in descending order. Then we will show the smallest element, then the largest element, then the sum of all the elements, and then the average of all the elements. Does that make sense? All right. And we're going to do this. How many lines of code do we have in here right now in our program? We already have 16 lines. We're going to do it in about 80 more lines, and that'll include a couple comments and the like. All right. The way that I'm doing it is the way I did it. Am I saying it's the best way of doing it? I'm saying it's the way that I did it. All right. First thing I'm going to do, because the author recommended that we do that, is to say, sorry. Did I do it here? No, I didn't. Forget it. We're only going to have a main in here. We're not going to worry about modularizing. So right at the beginning, I'm going to put in a constant, int, and I'm going to say max equal 25. That means we're going to have 25 array elements. Do you all understand if I wanted to have 100 array elements, all I'd have to do would be to change that to 100. That's it. So, number of array elements. All right. We don't even really need a something there, but I'll put this. Declare and initialize program constant. Declare and initialize program variables. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 variables. They're not really in any kind of specific order. They are in the order I put them in. Okay? All right, so those are the 6 variables. If you would please, even if you're still typing, just stop for a second and take a look up here. I think I left this up. Maybe I didn't. Maybe I didn't. All right. when we run this, that isn't it. When we run this program in just a bit, all right, so when we run it, this thing right here, where it says the array in original order and then that stuff, the array in ascending order, everything you see on here, that's what's going into output string, output str. So I'm going to be filling that up every time. So I'll fill it up with this, and then I'll clear it and fill it up with this, and then I'll clear it, fill it up with this, clear it, this, clear it, this, clear it, this, clear it, and this. Does that make sense? So I'm using the same string. I'm just going to keep putting different values in it. Did you have to do it that way? Hell no. But it's just the way that I chose to do it. So that's what this value right here is. All right? All right, next I'm going to do what's called, oops, sorry. Try it again. Come on. Seed the rand. Again, I want to make sure I'm starting out with, I want this program to be as random as it can possibly be. That's what that line is going to do. All right. So, again, I'm just putting small comments in here. Fill the array with 100 random numbers between 1 and 100. All right, so that's what I want to do here. Does everybody have these variables? Okay, move that up. So again, what that is doing right there, and I'll leave it up here, what that is doing is it's generating 100 random numbers. And it is generating 25 random numbers between 1 and 100. And it is putting one of those numbers in each one of the 25 slots, so to speak, for the number array. Does that make sense? All right. So the next thing I want to do is I want to print out the array in the current or the original order. And it's going to be very similar to what I've just done. So I'm going to grab that for loop here, and I'm going to copy it to the clipboard, and I'm going to paste it back in and just make a couple changes to it. All right. Okay, everybody look here. I got the squigglies. Got to put our using static system.console at the top of the program. All right, so I'll come right back, but we need to say here, using static system.console, semicolon. All right, now I've got this. Okay. Now, I'm for right now, you don't have to put this line in, but please look on the screen. You don't have to put this in. At the very bottom of my program, I'll need a read line. You don't have to put that in yet, so don't put this in. But what I want to show you is, watch what happens. This is what I've got so far. Of course there'd be errors. What is the darn error? Oh, because I'm never using, okay, I'm missing a semicolon. There. All right, the rest of them are warnings. So, if I run the program, that's what I got. That's what I've done so far. I've generated 25 random numbers, and I'm printing them out. Does that make sense? Look at the numbers. 67, 54, 45, etc. Now, I'm going to stop the run, and I'm going to run it again. And you should notice they're different numbers because they're random. All right? I'm not going to do it again, but I'm going to run this after every time we do something just so you can see what I've done since the last time we ran it. All right? So, the next thing I'm going to do, and I'm hoping everybody has this, but I'm going to come down to here, and I'm going to say, sort the array, print it out in ascending order. First thing I want to do is I want to take this output string that we've been working with here, and I want to set it back so there's nothing in it. I'm going to be doing that every time. All right, then simply it's array dot sort. Sorry, it's a big S. Sort, and the array is numbers. All right, and then all I want to do is the exact same thing that I just did exactly right here. Please don't type that in again. Highlight it, copy it to the clipboard, and paste it in. So what have I done now? Look at the program run. Well, for some reason I didn't put the array in sorted order, but notice it is in sorted order. I'll have to fix that. That's no big thing. All right, so what did I want to say here? Output string equals that, and then we'll say here, output str plus equals the array in sorted order. In fact, even better than sorted order, should be the array in ascending order. That looks better. Save it. Now let's see if it looks nicer. There it is. Is that pretty obvious what we've done so far? We generated an array with 25 random numbers in it, then we sorted it. All right? And as I mentioned to you before, if you look on the screen right now, I can be 100% assured that 8 is the smallest number. Would you agree with that? Because it's in sorted order and it's the first element. So, I don't have to do this, but I'm going to do it right now. After I've done my sorting, which is what I just did here, all right, so after my sort, I'm going to put, and down here, I'm going to put in smallest equals numbers 0. I'm not going to print it out yet, but I know now I have my smallest number in there. Everybody hear me? I've now got the smallest number in there. All right. Now again, please look up on the screen. What I want to do next is the reverse. I've got all the stuff I need in here. Highlight all of that. Copy it to the clipboard and paste it right below where it says smallest, right in this blank line here. Now I'm going to say reverse the sorted array, print it out in descending order. All right, so now I say the array in descending order, and instead of saying array.sort, I say array.reverse. That's all I've got to do. All right, you're all very trusting, but let's run it again and look. There it is in descending order. So literally in about 10 minutes, we've got a fairly sophisticated program that we've written. All right, and now, before we said smallest equals number 0, now we say largest equals number 0. Oops, not while the program is running, we don't. Now I want to print out the smallest and then print out the largest. I don't have to do another loop. I've already got their values. So I'm just going to do this. I'm going to copy these 3 lines. And I'm going to come over here. I could even do it up here. It really doesn't matter where I do it. All right. In fact, I wouldn't do it there because I want to do it after I set it. All right. So now I'm just going to say print out smallest element. And that's going to have to be numbers subs, I guess it's smallest. Now, I might want to put in smallest dot toString plus like that. After you've done that, like I'm doing, copy it to the clipboard, go down to where the largest is, put that in here, and change that to largest, and that to largest. All right, then the only thing we have left to do is the sum and the average. So again, let's take a look at what it looks like right now. Well, for some reason it didn't print out my... I've got ascending, I've got descending. I don't know, I might not have saved. Oh, I know what it is. I never did a right line. Yeah, I did. No, right here. I need a right line of output string. All right. Now let's look. There's the smallest. In just a second, it's going to look just like this, but now it'll say the largest element is. All right. So I'm going to copy everything that I had here, everything. And put that under where the largest is. And then change that to print out largest array element. Have that say largest. Have that say largest. Save it, run it again. And now you can see what I have. Now we're doing this fast. I understand. I have no problem. It's only 2 or 3 pages. If you want a hard copy when I'm done, just let me know. I'll give you a hard copy. I don't care. So we've got the array in original order. We've got the array in ascending order. We've got the smallest. We've got the array in descending order, and we've got the largest. I want to do 2 more things. And that is, I want the sum of all the array elements, so I want to add all these together and give me the sum, and then I want the average of the 25 elements. Everybody with me? All right. Where's my smallest? All right, so what's left is, again, I want to come in here and kind of do what I did before. All right, so I'm just going to grab something like, I'll grab this when I sorted it. That's fine. I'm just going to grab this. And I'm going to go down to the bottom, paste that in, but I got to change the comment. I'm going to put down add up array elements, print out the sum. All right, that should be pretty obvious what we're doing there. So the sum of all array elements I don't need an array.sort. Very simply, all I have to do is this. And let's make sure it worked. Well, I put it on a new line, but it says the sum. So I'll have to make sure I don't like the way that looks, so I don't want a new line there. How about if I put a tab in there instead? Instead of a new line. That'll look a little nicer. Come on, Jeff. So now it looks like this. Not too bad. So the only thing that's left to do is the average. The good news is, average, I can grab all this stuff I just did for sum, copy it to the clipboard, paste it in here, and it's even easier because I want the the average of the array elements. And then I want to print out the average. All right, so I just said AVG. You can say whatever you want. I don't have to put it in a loop. I already know I've got the sum, but if you look up on the screen, I want to say this. I want to say average equals sum, this is not complete, divided by numbers.length. There's a problem with doing that. I'm dividing an integer by an integer. It's going to throw away any decimal portion. Did you hear what I said? I don't want that. So I will do what's called cast this. I will type it like this. I will spell length correct. And I will say I want average to string to 2 decimal places, just like that. All right. Now I'll come right back to it, but let's double check because we're done. There it is. There's my array in original order. There it is ascending. There's the smallest. There it is descending. There's the largest. There is the sum. There's the average. And we did that with under 95 lines of code. All right. Now, I went through that fast, so this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to go back up near the top, and I'm asking you this question. Did everybody get all this stuff? Is there anybody who didn't? Because I'll leave it up here if you did not. So you all got this. Fine. Did everybody get this where we filled up the array? Has everybody got that? All right. Does everybody have printing out the array in original order? All right. Then I'll go down and I'll leave it here for just a second because that's where we did the sorting. So I'll put that up there and leave it up there for just a minute, and I'll keep moving it down. Here's a little hint for you, okay? It won't be your pretest, but what I'm going to ask you to do, after we go through chapter 7 and after we go through chapter 8, I'm going to have to ask you to rewrite this program as a GUI program, all right? We'll talk about a few things to put in it. We haven't gotten there yet. And I'm going to ask you to modularize it. So I'm going to ask you to take each one of these times we do something and have a routine called sort array or sort ascending or something like that, and put that code in there. And then main will become a driver that will just call the different routines. Does that make sense? All right, we'll have to make some changes, and I will give you a good portion of a period coming up to do that. Because if you can do that, that's actually probably harder than what your next test is going to be. So if you can understand that, you should be able to do very well on the next test. You'll have the code. All right? So I'll move down to the smallest here. So if you need that, you can. There's the largest, and I'll put the sum and the average up in just a minute. All right? Is there anyone who would like a hard copy of this? One? Okay. That's it? Okay. So here is the sum. Don't know if I can make this. I can probably shrink down the font size. So there's the sum, and there's the average. All right, I'll leave those up there for just a minute. You know what your homework is, so if you are all caught up to date, you should be able to do the homeworks for Chapter 6. Try to make an attempt if you can, if you listen for a second, try to at least make an attempt on those debug exercises. I think after we get done with about Chapter 8, then I'm just going to say forget about the debug list. Any questions? So on Monday, all right, what I'll do is I will give back your completed tests, including any changes that you've made. So you'll have that, but all of Monday will be a lab period. Tuesday, we will take the written test for Chapter 6. And after that written test, we will go over Chapter 7. All right? And then, again, by the end of next week, we'll have gone through 7 and 8. I don't envision us having that test until the following week, that hands-on test. All right?